get ready for today's episode because we're back with another Ask Tony Tuesday.
Here we go.
If you haven't got a clue, Tony's got the answer for you.
Did you get a haircut?
No, I have to go for a haircut. That's what I'm doing, whatever I can do to try to keep it down.
Oh, it looks nice.
Thanks.
He had the whole makeup and hair crew. He didn't even tell me. I got 2 questions for you today. Are you ready for the first one?
I'm ready.
First question of the day. Is there any machinery that goes into edge detailing?
There is, but there wasn't always. I mean, back in the day, when guys were hired to work in the shop, the test was to see what kind of etching they could do by hand. And they literally had to tape off the stone and do like the different profiles by hand.
Wow.
Well, I mean, it took a special person to have that talent and have that patience to do that. Today, thank God, things are advanced where you don't have to be able to do it by hand anymore. Now we have these giant routers. And it's much like woodworking has a router and has special bits. Each bit does a certain edge. So we have a water-fed router. It's a big router like this. And basically, a guy just runs it across the edge of the piece. And whatever the bit is, the router bit is, that's the profile that's being put on the edge. So if it's an OG edge, it's an OG bit. And it routes the stone away, much like a router bit for wood would route the wood away. So that does that. So that profile, so it gives it its shape. Doesn't polish it, just gives it its shape. We have a saw end that has a combined CNC machine. Some guys just have CNC machines that do all the cutting, all the polishing, all the edge profiling, everything.
Wow.
You know, those are big production shops. You know, if you got to knock out 20, 30, 40 jobs a day, you know, that's what you need. A shop that a smaller shop like ours, you know, we're talking about at least a $500,000 investment for the machine.
Yeah.
You know, and then all the bits, and the bits don't last forever. So you have to be high production to have those kind of machines. But we have the capability on our machine to do some of that. But the majority of the stuff we use it's called a Hercules. It's a giant router. It's water fed, so water feeds the diamonds on the bit, because if you don't heat, first of all, you want to keep the dust down. So the water keeps the dust down. Also, it cools the diamonds, because if the diamonds on the bit get too hot, what happens is they glaze over and they stop cutting. So you're keeping the dust down with the water, and you're keeping the diamonds cool as they're grinding through the stone.
Okay.
So that's what we do. We have a large Hercules router that's water fed, and we do different profiles for different edges. Quarter round would be quarter round edge. Quarter bevel profile. So each bit has a different profile, and you know they're like I said, they don't last forever. The more intricate, like the fancy OG and all those are more expensive than quarter round bit.
Right.
You know, but and then there's more work. You know, do a quarter round, you just take a quarter inch off the top. I mean, you're breezing through. But when you have to take a lot of stone off with an OG bit, it's a much slower process, which is why they cost more.
I can't imagine
Yeah.
doing the OG edge or like fancy OG triple pencil, any of that.
Right.
By hand. That must take a lot of talent.
And what it did was guys, they would tape off the edge, because the OG goes straight, then straight down, then it rounds over. So they would tape it so they had a nice straight line, and they would follow that tape line, and then they'd play it to it again, and they would do that, and you would have to go, because you'd stand on the edge, and you would see if it was straight.
Yeah.
And if a guy who was really good, I mean, it would be nice and straight. If a guy who wasn't that good, that edge would be wavy like that.
That would be me.
Yeah. And sometimes today, even with the router, it's all about, especially, the stones are different geological makeups. So a stone is very consistent and hard. So let's say black absolute. It's the same density throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
But when you think of stone that has a lot of mica, let's say like a white ice or something like that, the stone gets harder, softer, harder, softer, harder. So when you're, it's all about knowing how much pressure to apply, how much to back off, pressure to apply, back off. The same when you finish it, when you polish it, how much to add, how much to take off, how much to add, how to take off. Pressure plays a big deal.
My edge would be, I would be working on like an OG edge and get jiggly wiggly.
Yeah.
That's what my edge would be.
Yeah, but I mean, you really have to pay attention to what you're doing.
Yeah.
And you gotta love it too, because it's not easy work. At times, if you're just polishing edges, it gets tedious.
Yeah.
But you got, if you love what you do and you take pride in what you do, then it works.
Second question of the day kind of goes hand in hand.
Mhm.
What's the hardest edge profile that we make?
The hardest one would, and you know, we do all different kinds. Probably the rope edge.
Oh,
The
I
rope
always
edge.
forget
The
about
rope
it.
edge is, I've never seen anybody else do it. We don't do it a lot because it's expensive. Because there is no bit. You know, I was just discussing the different bits.
Yeah.
There is no bit for a rope edge. That's
Oh.
all. You got to calculate. You know how many grooves you're going to put in, and then it's all done by hand.
Wow.
All that is done by hand.
That's
Completely labor intensive. If you mess up, it's ruined. You have to do it
All
over.
over
There's
again.
no fixing it.
Wow.
So the rope edge was without a doubt the most intricate, toughest edge we do. And you know, we do a lot. We do we do these kind of built up edges, mitered edges. We do, OG over bull noses. I mean, we do anything. Whatever somebody wants, we'll do. I mean, we had a gentleman who wanted an edge and nobody else had. So we sat down and we kind of designed an edge and we had a bit made. So he had, and that's the Blue Bahia job.
Oh,
With the
okay.
Big Island, we have it's almost like a fancy OG over another OG kind of deal. The more intricate it is, the longer it takes to do. Especially if you're talking about an OG. Again, when it has a couple different shapes, so you got to polish one end and the other end, and just a lot of labor, a lot of back and forth, and a lot of grits. It's not, a lot of guys do 3 steps, 3 different grits, and then they put polish on it. Not the way to go. The polish will eventually wear off, especially in front of the dishwasher. Dishwasher adds the heat, it melts the wax, and now you have a dull edge. The way we do it, we don't put any wax. We close the pores of the stone, going from a low grit, say like a 500-600 grit, or even sometimes more, it depends on the stone, up to like 5,000, 7,000 final polishing. So if it takes 8 steps to do it, that's what we do.
Right.
There's no wax on our edges. And it just takes time. To do it right takes time.
And you want it to last a lifetime.
And it will. If you buy it from us, it'll last a lifetime. I promise you.
Yeah. Those are all the questions I have for you today.
Okay.
Thank you guys for tuning into this week's episode. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure to give it a like, share, or comment on it. If you have any questions that you want featured in an Ask Tony Tuesday, comment down below or send us a message on direct message, Instagram DM, or you can email us as well. Thanks again, you guys, and we hope you have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday. See you later.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning.
Solid. I'm like, I'm ready. No, I wasn't ready at all.
You're the happy-go-lucky, I'm like the serious grouch.